Okay, let's talk. In this surah, it says 13th in line. I mean, not this surah. In this poem, it says 13th in line, 13th in place. We know that means it's the placement of this surah. It's the 13th surah. It started off by saying Alif Lam Mim Ra, comes opening this great surah as grumbling, rumbling, thunder cracks. Describe the sounds that Ra'dun packs. That's the beginning part. We didn't have enough room on the board for those who just came in and looking at me strange. So that tells us the name in English and the name in Arabic. Thunder and Ra'd, 13th surah. Now we need to know, where did this surah come from? Okay? Where did it come from? And then it goes, and we also need to know how many ayat it is. Then he says, and we still need to know, what is this surah claiming? Okay? It says, Allah says 13th in line, 13th in place. Allah won't change a people's case till first they change what's in themselves. Examples sent to gauge ourselves. So this surah has a lot of examples in it. Okay? I say contrasting. Contrasting examples. That is the general thing that is happening in this surah. A lot of contrasting examples, as we'll get to later on. So the author puts in here, examples sent to gauge ourselves. So you can, when you have contrasting examples, you can see where you belong in that. From Mecca, some, Medinan claim. This surah is a surah of what? Ikhtilaf. In 12 surah, there's Ikhtilaf, which is difference of opinion, amongst the senior scholar staff. In Fatiha, Falaq al-Nas, Mutaffifin, and then Rahmanun Ra'dun Bayyina, Mutaffifin, no, At-Taghabun Al-Zalzala, right? What's the next line? Al-Qadru, along with Saf, no one's word is deemed enough. Jazakumullah khair. So this one, we did Fatiha, we did Falaq, we did Nas, we did Mutaffifin, and we did Ikhlas. Rahmanun Ra'adun. We're in Ra'ad, right? So we're doing the 12 surahs of Ikhtilaf. This is the Surat Ar-Ra'd in that order. And so it says from Mecca, some say Medinan claim. So you can take this two ways. Some scholars claim it to be Medinan. From Mecca, some scholars claim. So he's a play on words here. Okay? From Mecca, some Medinan claim. Okay? So it's Ikhtilaf. So you could just put that there. Where does it come from? There is difference of opinion. Difference of opinion. Okay? Some claim Mecca, some claim Medina. While 43 ayat remain. Okay? However, the thing that remains is 43 ayat. So how many ayat does this thing have? This surah have? Has 43. So now we know everything we need to know about this surah for a beginner in tafsir. A beginner in tafsir should know the name of every surah in English and what it means. I mean, it's in Arabic and what it means in English. A beginner in tafsir should know how many ayat are in each surah of the Quran. A beginner in tafsir should know where that surah is in the Quran. Is it the 5th surah? Is it the 12th surah? Should know that. And about every surah, a beginner in tafsir should know generally what is that surah about. If he doesn't know these things, how can he claim to be following Quran and Sunnah? If he doesn't even know the basic things about the Quran. And what we're here doing is, through this poem, is setting forth a vehicle through which you can remember these important basics in tafsir. Because the problem is not that the information is not out there, but having a vehicle through which this American diaspora that it combines English and Arabic studies can memorize and maintain maintain, or what is it? Retain, not maintain. Retain this information and make it beneficial knowledge. Okay, do I have any questions about this? Okay, one more time I'm going to read it. It says, an alif lam mim ra comes opening this great surah as grumbling, rumbling thunder cracks. Describe the sounds that Ra'dun packs. 13th in line, 13th in place. Allah won't change a people's case till first they change what's in themselves. Example sent to gauge ourselves. From Mecca some Medinan claim, while 43 ayat remain. So I want you all to go home, and if you'll spend the time just with the one surah that I give you a week, I give you one surah a week, and you read that surah that week, and you familiarize yourself even what the commentators have done in your own languages, in the English language, even though I found a lot of those comments, at least in the English ones, to be terrible. You know, some are beneficial, but there are some crazy way out statements that have nothing to do with what the ahadith and the scholars of the past have said. A lot of philosophy is in there, but it will familiarize you with what's being said about this surah. And then when you come to class, you'll have an ear open and a mind full of questions that we can get through during this 1 hour class. Okay? That's what I want you to, and then when you get the poem, you can memorize it, and then everything comes together. Okay? Try to do that, and then review this work. Review it. This surah, how many ayat does it have? 43 ayat. In 1 hour, we cannot do 43 ayat. Okay? So we're going to have to do with this surah what we did with Surat Ar-Rahman. We can't go over it ayah for ayah. I will attempt to do that and just give you a general overview about what this surah is about. But I'm going to go fast. The good thing about this is that this is taped. You can go over and re-listen to, re-watch this, because I'm going to say a lot of things, and they may not seem as important as they are when I say them because I'm going so fast. But if you go over again, I suggest again to go over this surah ayah by ayah. It will make more sense to you what I'm talking about as we go through it. Okay? And I challenge you all, go through any tafseers that you like to, and you'll find this information, insha'Allah ta'ala. The sad thing is what we need to do, we need to get one of those things where they throw the Quran on the wall. You know, what is those PowerPoints? And I could just write on that and just flip the page. If anybody knows how to do that, or get one of those machines, that would be great. And tell me, we'll purchase it, insha'Allah ta'ala. So, because it's hard to keep writing it and erasing, writing, erasing, writing, erasing. But we're going to do our best, okay? The surah starts off Alif, Lam, Mim, Ra. Okay? These letters, no one knows what they mean. Okay? However, like I said, this surah comes in the midst of a few other surahs that begin with Alif, Lam, Ra. And then all of a sudden, this one comes Alif, Lam, Mim, Ra. Then it goes back to Alif, Lam, Ra. That is a point of interest amongst the scholars. I'm mentioning that to you all now, because that is something that they talk about as a peculiarity of this surah. Next thing we say, it says, Tilka ayatul kitab. Tilka, everybody should have give the people a mushaf. You have a mushaf, pull it out. Look at what I'm saying, because I'm familiar with the surah. I want you to be familiar with it and to look at it while I'm talking, because if you can't see it while I'm saying it, it may make it more difficult for you to follow me. Okay? It says, Tilka ayatul kitab. وَالَّذِي أُنزِلَ إِلَيْكَ مِنْ رَبِّكَ الْحَقُّ وَلَكِنَّ أَكْثَرَ النَّاسِ لَا يُؤْمِنُونَ. So it says, Tilka ayat, these Tilka ayatul kitab. Oh, I don't have a eraser. Tilka ayatul kitab. The first thing it says, these are the ayat of the book. The ulama have two statements about this. Some of them say these are the ayat of the book, meaning that's not verses, but these are the lines or the ayat of the book. Some say that means the Quran. Most of the mufassirin say no, this is not the Quran. This is in reference to all the other books that have come down. The Torah, the Injil, and all the others, Az-Zubur. And then Allah says, وَالَّذِي أُنزِلَ إِلَيْكَ. And they use as a proof the next part of the same ayah that says, وَالَّذِي, and that which has been sent down to you. Okay? أُنزِلَ عَلَيْكَ مِنْ رَبِّكَ الْحَقَّ is from your Lord, and it's the truth. وَلَكِنَّ أَكْثَرَ النَّاسِ لَا يُؤْمِنُونَ. Except that most of the people, or however, most of the people do not believe. So we're just going to go through this. These are the ayat of the book. The next part is talking about the Quran. Then it says, Allahu alladhi rafa'a as-samawati bighayri amadin tarawnaha. If we stop right here, we have to